Hell yeah, hombres! My name's L.A.zy. Welcome you all back to the letter. The last episode, Marianne went face to face with her past in the image of a friend called Lorraine. Apparently, Lorraine had deeper feelings for Marianne, but Marianne didn't return them, which resulted, unfortunately, in her suicide. And as a spirit, she hunted us down, and she dragged us into whatever this is. Looks like a medieval dungeon of some sorts. We have no idea what we got here, but I was told to be absolutely careful around these parts. So, no, that's settled. Let's get into this. I fall on my back and the door slams shut behind me. In a daze, I look around warily and find myself in another room entirely. On the other side of the wall, some sort of secret passage perhaps, an underground tunnel that has me wary and frightened. It also proves that the oddities in the mansion floor plans are a lot more than just little discrepancies. I expect Lorraine to jump out at me from the darkness at any time. A breeze blowing through the tunnel has me relieved, though, at the idea that there is still a way to escape should that happen. That is way better than being trapped in the ground with only God knows what that was. A funny thought comes to mind as I start walking to where the exit might be. I think about how Miss Wright would be so disappointed if I didn't show up to the party. Imagine how furious Mr. Wright would be for breaking one of his wine bottles. Even Johan's reaction comes to mind, though I don't really know with that guy. One thing's for sure is that I will be calling Cam and Haruna for a drink as soon as I get out of here. Oh my god, already? The noise has me worried. Oh shit! A ghastly thing, a corpse of a woman, leans on the wall, arms and limbs, almost every inch of her body, speckled with wounds, rotting flesh. And it is then that the putrid smell of blood and gore hits me, making me so that I don't even question how I missed it in the first place.
How long has this been here? Oh, that smell! Oh, you're a nasty one, aren't you?
I flinch as the thing twitches. Oh! And as soon as it opens its eyes and looks at me with a smile, there's nothing on my mind but horror. I break into a run. I try to keep on running no matter how much my legs and feet scream at me to stop. I keep going even when I look back and see nothing of her anymore, because I can still hear her. The scampering of her feet, the words she tries to form with her bloodied mouth, and the painful sounds of bones grinding against each other as she moves closer and closer to me.
How long are these damn tunnels?
There's a split second where I know that thing's right behind me. A strange sensation creeping over my limbs when her presence looms over me. And then suddenly, I can't even do anything before I'm yanked by the hair and pulled back. Still I struggle, up until I'm thrown to the side like some ragdoll. I hit the ground on my side and the musty smell of old hay that reaches me is my only indication that I'm still alive.
Please don't hurt me!
My body hurts and I keep my eyes shut tight, afraid of what might happen next.
What's wrong, Marianne? Are you really afraid of little old me?
Her again. She just does not take no for an answer, does she? There's only dread, seeing how she's followed me even here. She looms over me, backs me further into the cell that I was thrown in.
Please, it's so cold. I don't want to be alone, Marianne. Why won't you stay with me? Why would you leave me? Why?
What are you?
Oh boy. Lorraine turns and shifts into that thing from before. And with that same gruesome grin, it takes a step forward towards the cell, towards me. I barely scramble to my knees when the door of the cell slams shut, and Ed just stands there, staring. Shouts for help ring out through the tunnels, but none of them are coming from me. I'm more paralyzed and shocked by what is happening. My throat tightens at being fooled by the image of Lorraine, as the thought of being trapped down here. So then, where?
Help me! Help me! Oh, help me! Are you getting all this on camera, Carl? Yeah, but are you guys sure this is a good idea? We're breaking and entering here. Don't worry, the owners of this place haven't been here in a long time. Look at this thing, though. It has writing in blood like some cheesy 80s horror prop. Wait, I have an idea.
Whatever that idea is, don't try it. You'll regret it.
Oh man, that's genius.
What kind of butthead would even take this thing seriously? Maybe we can stick this in Rowan's backpack. That's Suarez kid would panic.
Guys, there you go. Fucking shitheads! Don't mess with something you don't know!
What? Spit it out! Behind you!
There in the corner of the cell, a digital camera comes flickering to life, and the video has played back on the screen. It's hard to even consider paying attention to it when my life is on the line. When the ghost isn't moving, the teenagers mocking shouts of "Help me!" fill the cell. I just had to watch what I had seen. Students judging by their Saint Loretta uniforms. They were holding
That letter!
and that thing, the woman, she... what do we got in her journal? While trying to escape the phantom disguising as her friend, Marianne discovered an underground prison hidden in the deepest corners of the mansion. Now trapped in one of its cells, she found a recording left behind by some of the mansion's victims. Rebecca, it's really gonna end like that. Marianne doesn't get to escape. Okay, we got ourselves the fiery Rebecca now. This is how it begins, or so they say. With a gentle wind drifting through the wide-open windows, muffled laughter and footsteps fading behind empty hallways, the light kiss of the afternoon sun. Soon there will be a call, a crossing of thresholds into the unknown. Maybe we are off to some grand adventure, or diving into another gripping mystery. One that can't really tell. For all I know, a hero might even come sweep me off my feet if I'm lucky.
That's not exactly a bad thing when you think about it.
But this is far from one, isn't it? A riveting tale, that is. Is this all the way back when we met with Isabella? The mild breeze, the faint murmurs, the warm rays painting every nook and cranny a fiery hue. They're all as real as they can get. As much as I want to write a little tale out of this, I'm far from someone that can. Fleeing fancies, that's what these are. Merely passing thoughts and to occupy an idle mind, while waiting for another busy work day to end. And again, maybe in another life. Am I one? I am one, who knows? But at present, what I have and what I've chosen to be, well...
I won't last years here if I find teaching rowdy adolescents a tedious job, will I?
Admittedly, the whole affair isn't exactly as grand or exciting as I had imagined as a child. If I weren't so stubborn and too passionate about the whole idea, I probably would have quit a long time ago. But it's always the kids that make it worthwhile, isn't it? As for the agreement, as soon as my pen slides into a neat circle against the papers and grading, the final bell rings. Like a dam that has opened, students began piling out into the hallway soon after. For a short minute, I let the noise fill my ears, let my mind wander to a place far removed from all the hubbub. Solitary moments like this have come few and far between lately. Even my own home hasn't been as quiet as I usually prefer. Though in hindsight, the entire place hasn't been the same either, since Isabella moved next door. And if we're fussing over a minor cold last week tells anything, I might as well throw any idea of solitude out the nearest balcony, as long as she lives nearby. At the memory, my eyes automatically shift over to the bottle sitting at the edge of my desk. A chuckle escapes from me as I reach for it.
A little ball of energy and enthusiasm. That big baby.
Mother hen, she calls him, and then says and does the same thing right after. It's not that I'm unused to being on the receiving end of other people's worries, or I feel any sort of apprehension over her fretting. If I'm to be completely honest, it's actually amusing how someone can be childlike one minute and adult the responsible adult the next. But there's a dissonance here, both in her actions and words. Though she may not look like it, may not say anything, may not lose cheer, one way or another, I know these troubles have weighed down on her lately. Her face says it all, and that big numpty. If she thinks I won't notice, she's got another thing coming for her. That's how she's always been. I do understand that part loud and clear. It's just that I'd really rather not pass another burden on to her.
Or become one myself.
Wait, how many characters do we have left? Wait, let me just see. What is it? We're on chapter 5. We're on chapter 4 with Marianne. So all that's left is Ashton and Lukey Luke. Damn, look at that face of hers. That's a face that you don't want to fuck with. Ashton minus? Why? Already? Aren't I supposed to be the one taking care of them? Though I guess that's simply one of those things people eventually grow away from once you all start leading different lives. Not completely different, I hope. Somehow that thought makes me feel uneasy. Thankfully, before strangers' ideas can take root in my head, a faint buzzing comes from my bag, running through the rest of my thoughts. A small frown forms in my lips when the screen lights up and an unknown number flashes. For a long second, my thumb hovers over the answer button, even the voice that responds. Yes, I do accept the call. It's wholly familiar.
Hello?
Oh, goodness. Finally, it connects.
Who is this?
Hello? Is this Miss Gales? Rebecca Gales?
Yes, speaking. Who is this?
Oh, sorry. Rose Cooper.
Oh!
Briar Realty Corporation.
Isabella's mentor.
Briar Realty?
My frown deepens as straightening from my chair. Something in her tone, despite sounding remarkably friendly and light, doesn't sit quite well with me. The rigid pause that follows doesn't help ease the tension that has suddenly descended either.
Miss Cooper?
Yes. Things are a bit busy on my end. I apologize. I'm not certain if Isabella has mentioned anything before, but we're working together on a property at the moment, and
The Armengard Mansion, yes. She said something about that earlier. Is there a problem?
this is about Isabella, actually.
She wastes no time relaying everything. Details she provided me admittedly a bit vague, but enough for me to get a gist of what happened. It isn't the bad sort I'm expecting, though still worrying. Especially the words panic attack and pale looking a bit sickly woven together in one foreboding sentence. But as quickly as it surfaces, I stomp down on the urge to demand answers, right there and then. Now isn't the proper time for useless questions. I'll find out soon enough regardless. To Miss Cooper's credit, she neither hesitates nor falters all throughout. There's some sort of comfort in knowing Isabella has someone like her to guide her, but not as much as I would have liked. After all, this is Isabella we're talking about. What are the chances to just set a bunch of excuses so she won't get sent home? High. Very high. Oh, she's so going to hear it this time.
You were listed as one of her emergency contacts, so I thought it'd be best you know about this.
How is she? Is she doing okay?
I had her take a break for now, but honestly, I'd feel better if someone were to pick her up and take her home for some rest. Anthem's a fair distance from Luxbourne. I really don't want her going off on her own. I'd do it myself, but you know how it is today. Big day. People everywhere until the open house ends. I'm really sorry to ask this of you, Miss Gales. I know you're busy.
Oh, no, it's all good. I was just about to leave from work. I hope to leave early today anyway. A few minutes ahead wouldn't hurt. I can be there in a few, 30, 40 minutes tops. Is that all right?
More than fine, Miss Gales, thank you. We're supposed to be here until... Oh, excuse me. One moment, please. Yes, ma'am.
Faint hum of conversation echoes from her end. It sounds as though the place is buzzing with more people than you expect from a regular open house. I was skeptical at first. The house is old, not to mention its inconvenient location next to one's outskirts. One wants to live in the place almost an hour's drive away from the comforts of the city. From what little I can hear, it appears Isabella has every right to be optimistic about the sale. I didn't understand why she was so adamant refusing my offer to help before. I think I do now, to some degree.
We'll be resuming the tour soon. Yes, thank you. Sorry about that. I really need to get this thing going. Lord knows how I'll salvage the situation here. It shouldn't be anything complicated, but still, clients. It can be difficult when they want to be. Anyway, just look for me when you get here, alright? I shouldn't be too hard to miss.
No problem. Thanks for letting me know about this. Just make sure Isabella stays put, please. Heaven knows how stubborn that girl can be.
Oh, believe me, I know. Don't worry about it. I'll have a few of our staff keep an eye on her for me until you get here.
That's all I'm asking. I appreciate it.
Whole thing ends on a surprisingly pleasant note. If only the same can be said for the news she brought. I allow a brief minute to pass to ease whatever tension has lashed itself firmly to my nerves. No matter how much I wish for it, my mind stubbornly refuses to do so. My hands are unsteady against the papers I pretend to arrange after. Lucid thoughts, every single ounce of it grimmer than the other, grows with each passing second I linger. Something about this whole thing, along with the sudden unease and nagging worry, screams off. Wrong. This isn't the riveting tale I've hoped to step in today. Oh, sorry about that. Sorry about that, Moms. Can be concerning sometimes. Even on the rush, getting everything in order before leaving takes nearly a good quarter hour. By the time I make it out of the classroom, the commotion's already died down, dwindling to mere echoes and distant laughters. The nearby room melodies from a rehearsing band drifts freely into the air, filling the almost empty hallway with the warm, lively tunes. Any other day I'll stop, bask in the music, and enjoy a few previous drinks. Not today, however. My steps are brisk and sure as I march to Edwards Hall's exit. The sooner it confirms the bell is okay, the sooner I can shake off this niggling feeling. For one reason or another, that single call of all possible things has thrown everything off kilter. Rather this be over with as quickly as possible. So much that I nearly barrel over a student in my haste. Though perhaps it's really the other way around. It's the little kid from Zachary's chapter. I already forgot her name. I look down, a set of eyes, bright and hopeful, stare back at me. Her arms are wrapped around my waist like a vase, and at my attention a grin spreads over her face.
Hello, Kylie.
There was no sound on that one.
You know, you aren't supposed to run into people like that.
Really, where the hell is her voice? She loosens her hold on me, and not a hint of guilt or regret appears on her. If anything, it seems the remark only amused her. A smile appears on my face before I can help it, matching the one on her own.
Just remember not to do it again, alright? You could get hurt.
You sound like my mama when she's scolding Rowan, Miss Pink.
Now you make a sound. What the hell was that?
I'm sure your mama only means well. I know she'll be worried sick if one of you were to get hurt. Where's your brother anyway? Aren't you two supposed to be heading home now?
Rowan said he's got some stuff he needs to do before we go. I think he's taking too long. But he promised to buy me jelly babies today, if I keep what he's doing a secret from Mama and Papa.
Any chance you'll tell Miss Pink about it?
Shakes her head, both her hands going to her mouth as if to keep a precious secret from spilling out.
I made a promise. He said it's for Tio Luke.
Oh, something like a gift?
Like a deal. Tio promised to take him somewhere cool when he's old enough. Rowan's gonna prove he's a grown-up.
Laughter slips free from my lips. Teacher in me wants to give whoever this Tio is a reprimand for bringing about this kind of behavior in her children. But if Suarez kids are so fond of him, there shouldn't be anything to worry about, yes? At any rate, they're nothing but well-behaved, both Kylie and her brother. Rowan, the eldest, may have an occasional odd streak in and out of class, but their parents taught him well. I see no reason to cast any suspicion of bad behavior on them.
As long as it isn't anything dangerous, alright?
It's not. Cross my heart. My drawings are a lot prettier than what he's doing anyway. Tio said so. Do you want to see? I drew one earlier at class.
Is that why you're
As
here?
long as it's nothing disturbing.
Not really. I was gonna show it to my friend first. But since it's you, I'm sure she wouldn't mind if you see it before she does.
Oh no. I can't stay right now, Kylie.
Her face falls immediately after the words are out. A small part of me feels responsible for that crestfallen look. But as much as I want to stay a little longer, there's another place I need to be at right now. Frankly, another child to look after her. Hey, come on, don't over-exaggerate my ball like that. Come on. Taking both of her hands, I kneel in front of her and muster the most rueful smile I can give. At her age, I'm quite sure she already understands what I'm about to say before they're even out. Remarkably, she doesn't look away or pout as I'm expecting her to.
I'm sorry. You know what? Rowan has a class with me on Monday around this time. Why don't you drop by again next week? After class? I'll even make sure to wait for you. It's just that I absolutely must leave now. My friend had an accident earlier, and I'm the only one she has here.
What about her Mama and Papa?
Her family lives really far from here, I'm afraid. Do you remember where Asia is? The southeast part? That's where they are.
Her eyes immediately light up at my question, just like that. No avert the girl's forgiveness.
Oh, just like Takako.
Who?
My friend. She said she used to live there, only just a little higher than southeast. But she hasn't come home in a long time, so she doesn't remember much about it anymore.
Kylie, she somehow has a connection to the ghost of her, like previous haunting of Zachary's identification, but what exactly? Maybe it isn't a connection, or maybe it's just the ghost's other way to like mess with people.
Melody says it's weird I talked to her, but I think she's just shy. They could be good friends too! Don't you think so, Miss Pink?
Maybe if you introduce them properly, they will be.
That's what I think. Takako's just lonely. If she makes more friends, she won't be anymore. Is your friend like that too?
A little, possibly. To be honest, sometimes I can't tell with her.
After all, Isabella has always been kind to hold a smile, even when things have taken a turn for the worse. 5 years in one will think it's enough time to know a person. When you consider it, come to think of it, all these years I've never, not even once, seen her cry. Not over a trivial matter, even when things are tough.
Okay, you can go to her. I'll just show you my drawing next time.
Thank you. Remind me to buy you a huge glass of parfait, all right?
No, I'll get a stomachache. Takako says so. A small one is okay.
I'll remember that. Say hi to your friend for me.
I will. I'm sure she'd love to meet you too. See you, Miss Pink.
I'll see you later, Kylie.
London Bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down. London Bridge is falling down, my fair
With a song and
lady.
mixed spring in her steps, she bounds across the corridor with as much spirit only a child her age can have. As if the conversation has never taken any downhill turn for her at all. As if there's a single thing to worry about in the world. Not long after, she disappears behind the door, hidden behind strains of an old familiar rhyme lingering in the air. Carefree, unbidden, untroubled moments like this, I envy her. And as I resume my hurried pace, a tiny whisper at the back of my mind wishes the same can be said of myself and my own worries. Luxembourg may be a small city, but it's no stranger to hellish rush hour traffic. Surprisingly, getting out of the city today proves more of a breeze than the hassle. A relief considering how none of my calls to Isabella have made it through. Either the reception's really bad over there, or she's ignoring them on purpose. Well, there's nothing to ease the swine in me. The rest of my drive passes without much incident as soon as I'm out of the busy streets. In less than 30 minutes, the mansion looms ahead of me. There it is. The mansion is the epicenter of all this shit. For all the fuss Isabella made about the house, it remains a thing of beauty. Like Luxembourg, the estate of the nearby Anselm village stands the complete opposite. Living and breathing the songs of the old, whispers for a once blooming haven lingering in the air. Contemporary conveniences aside, it's a place I'm glad modernization hasn't wholly touched.
It's just a shame the locals know more of the silly hearsay than the history itself. If I could only knock some sense into these people!
Believe me, some sense will be knocked into you after you encounter what's been spooking all of us as of late. Sadly, complaining is all I can afford to do. As much as I want to give them a piece of my mind, it isn't why I'm here. I don't think these rich types will appreciate getting a lecture from me either. I have as much business with them as they have with me. With a heavy sigh, I give myself one last second to take in the scenery before heading up the main entrance. Most of the guests are already heading out, though some still linger. It's mainly just to take photos of the house facade or its various rooms. I pause for a moment, scanning the small crowd gathered at the foyer, looking for any sign of that familiar ponytail among the sea of hats and heads.
No sign of her.
No sign of the other staff of Miss Cooper either. I can certainly look for Isabella on my own, but in a place this big, I'd be lucky if I didn't end up lost or find her before we need to meet Zachary and Ash tonight. There's her happy little face. Sighing, I reach for my mobile and redial her number. Gesture familiar now after so many attempts earlier. If she doesn't answer, I can still try contacting Miss Cooper. I just hope the network reception will cooperate this time. This side of the county has never been popular with tech-savvy after all. To my relief, it only took 3 unsuccessful tries. At the fourth one, Raz is about to switch to another intercept message. The line finally rings. Silence follows while I wait for it to pick up, being going far too long for my tastes. By now, most of the visitors have already cleared out. All I have for company are the faint murmurs and eerie calmness left in their wake. The sudden hush settles and gives way to noises louder than they're ever meant to be. Doors creaking and slamming shut in some distant part of the mansion, floorboards groaning under the sheer weight of the house's history. Now empty hall, they all reverberate with special clarity against the walls. Like this, that those old stories seem to almost have a real truth in it. I don't get too straightforward for the ugly line of thought, however. Now, a second later, a click sounds from the other end.
Hello? Isabella?
Oh my god,
Miss
already?
Cooper called earlier and...
Hell. Jesus Christ.
Isabella? Belle? Are you alright?
Without any warning, the call gets cut off. Busy notes blare sharply against the heavy silence. But above the noise cutting through the mute air remains the faint cries of a woman. From beyond the foyer, my hand falls to my side as I cast a wary look around, waiting for someone to come running. Surely I can't be the only one hearing this. There must be some staff hanging around, checking things out. No one does. Not even when her sobs are more frantic and anguished.
Excuse me? Hello? Who's there? Isabella?
Rebecca, turn around and run, now!
Isabella? Is that you?
No answer. Growing anxious, I amble over where her cries come from. Each step, slow and cautious, towards the door on the other side of the room. While I'm far from someone who readily gives into fear or stories lacking factual basis, the vague, restless feeling I have earlier immediately returns to me. And despite myself, my heart begins to race and my breathing quickens.
Belle? Belle, it's me. Miss Cooper called. Is everything okay?
Abruptly, all of it stops. My whole body tenses, mouth dragging in a ragged breath, ears strained from any other sound yet to come from the other side. But nothing follows. Instead, the quiet only lends itself to the heavy tension in the air, as if every small movement will disturb the fragile stillness hanging in the room. I wait for another second. Then with caution, I reach for the knob. My fingers barely graze the brass handle when a hand falls on my shoulder.
Excuse me. I am so sorry.
Jeez, don't...
I didn't mean to startle you.
You don't startle people like that. God damn it, Rose.
No, it's...
Still reeling, my gaze shifts back to the door as if any second now the cries will start again. Whoever's inside will burst out of the room. But I don't get to dwell on these. The woman's worried voice breaks through the haze in my mind again, oddly soothing in the thick of my unease. Even if the concerned look comes from a total stranger, finally being in the company of someone else is somehow comforting.
Ma'am? Are you okay?
Oh, no, I'm fine. This is probably just some cold.
Do you need to sit down?
No need. I'm actually looking for a friend.
I wave at the mobile in front of her like the gesture alone explains everything. Vaguely know my tight grip on it and quickly slip into my pocket before she notices. She doesn't need to know.
Well, I'm not really sure if your friend would still be here. We're actually about to close the open house in a few minutes, ma'am.
No worries. She's not a guest here. She works for Briar Realty. Miss Cooper called me earlier. In fact, I'm also looking for her.
Recognition flashes in her eyes and her wordy expression dissolves into a smile at once. It's all I need to know that I don't have to look elsewhere or venture deeper into the mansion of my own. In some way, I'm not too keen on the latter right now.
Oh, Miss Rebecca Gales, is it?
Yes. Sorry if I'm a bit late.
It's not a problem. I was busy with the open house and a few clients anyway. It's actually a good thing you came when you did. Let's see. Isabella should be here somewhere. I told her to stay put earlier. Girl never listens.
Rose? Rosie, may I have a minute? There's just this one little thing before we go.
Alright. Miss Cooper's head immediately snaps up at the voice. In the blink, a different kind of smile spreads on her face. Smile still, friendly even, but the kind given mainly for the sake of pleasing other people rather than making friends.
Yes, ma'am. I'll be there in a few.
It's an impressive thing, to say the least, that level of professionalism. I suppose working years in this kind of business trains you enough to be able to pull that off, without batting an eye. Certainly doesn't seem to have rubbed off on Isabella, though.
Sorry, could you give me a second? I have to take care of this.
Don't worry about it. I understand. I can wait a few more minutes. Clients, right?
You won't hear anything from me. Priorities, you know? But if you want, you can stay at the parlor in the meantime. I think we have a few refreshments left.
No, thank you. I'm going out with a few friends after this. Isabella's supposed to join us too. But that depends on how she's doing, of course.
All right, this won't be long, I promise.
She throws me an apologetic look before sauntering over the small group gathered at the entrance. There they are. Hannah Wright, Luke Wright, Rosie, and Marianne. Fine as well, because it's before her incarceration into that dungeon or wherever the hell that place is. A couple, or siblings, and another woman, probably the secretary. Either way, they look no different from the other guests. All three of them are primly dressed, albeit the matter significantly simpler than the others. No frills, no extravagance of any form. But their gestures and movements alone speak volumes of their ingrained lifestyle. In their presence, I do what I can to appear inconspicuous on my side of the foyer. Maybe accepting Miss Cooper's offer would have been a much better choice than standing around awkwardly and gaping at them, all while also attempting my best not to listen into their conversation. Although that one proves more difficult with how enthusiastic the blonde woman is. Her voice easily echoes through the walls with only the five of us here. Pretty soon I find myself drawn to their talk without meaning to.
Tomorrow? First thing in the morning?
First thing in the morning, ma'am.
Vain talk is what catches my attention, however.
Very well. We'll have our lawyers prepare everything as soon as possible. Let's make this whole thing easier for everyone, shall we? Just let me know if there's anything you need from me. You know how to contact me, yes?
Got your mobile number saved here already.
Good. It's just a matter of time then.
It's a brief moment, a fleeting shift in my eye.
Monday for us, Marianne.
As long as you're positive, we won't be having any problems by that time. You can count on my team.
What's the story tree on this one so far? Branching tree. Still, the highest one is Hannah. Story update. Common route. She looks so done with everything in her little avatar.
You worry too much. Let me handle those things. Do be thrilled, though. I imagine it's not every day you get projects like this,
The instant I turn my gaze on him, I see it.
Oh, I'm certain Mint's ecstatic, Buttercup. Aren't you, Marianne?
What's with that weird music?
You know, we could all celebrate this with a few drinks. Why don't we?
What's with the sun glowing behind him? Rebecca, what's going on?
In fact, there's this really excellent Irish pub I visited a few days ago.
Looming, hovering over his shoulders. Oh, I see the spirit. That thing behind him. Drawn to him like a moth to a flame. A dark blur. No, a shadow.
I think I'll pass on that, sir. I have more important matters to attend to.
You heard her, love. She's busy.
Okay, things are getting muffled.
What a shame. You never let me do anything fun.
But as I try and make sense of it, a heavy feeling descends over my whole body. It happens without warning, forcing me to close my eyes. The sensation creeps to every part of me, crawling under my skin and draining me little by little of any strength. Before I know it, my hand is gripping the nearby door for support. Sudden nausea drowns out the voices and the little sound there is, all except for the whispers and the laughters, judging, mocking, taunting, muffled inaudible words bearing down on me like a death sentence. They wrap around my neck and limbs, spines tightening with every syllable, every utterance. And with each draw of breath I take, they drag me down slowly, almost painfully into a bottomless abyss. On and on and on, until the sounds turn to mere distant echoes. Until suddenly, it shatters.
Well, what are we waiting for? Are we done here?
Jesus. His voice rips through the fog like a sharp blade and my eyes snap open. I look to them again, it's gone.
You can head back to the car first if you want, Luke. I hope that settles everything, Rose. I don't know what Isabel's problem is, but please make sure she doesn't hurt herself. Anyway, we're looking forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Likewise, ma'am.
No shadows or dark clouds, only amicable smiles and cordial handshakes. Usual pleasantries as Miss Cooper leads them out of the mansion like a graceful host. None of the group seems to have noticed it. And even as I force my breathing to calm down, keep my eyes trained on her backs, and wait for something to happen, it doesn't come back. She returns a moment later. Gently she closes the great doors behind her. There's a smile on her lips and an extra skip in her step as she walks back to me. Whatever she was discussing with the group had her in a good mood. Even she appears to have not observed anything odd. Was I just seeing things?
Glad that was over. It's been a long day. I thought for sure we're going to... Hey, are you sure you're doing okay? You look a bit green.
It's all good. I'm actually still recovering from a cold. Weather's been crazy lately.
That must be it. The weather is this stupid cold and the friendly mornings I'm too stubborn to listen to. As much as I hate to admit, Isabella's right. I was and still am a little feverish when she visited me at school this morning. Medicine helped, of course, but only some. Although it's not like I can function. I did get better after lunch and I was able to go through my schedule like usual. Now I'm not so sure. However, I keep acting like I've seen some sort of apparition when it's anything but. I simply must have listened too many times to Isabella last week. I feel her muddled mind started to confuse things. If this doesn't let up, I just need another visit. Oh, I didn't mean to do that, sorry. If this doesn't let up, I just need another visit to my doctor, plain simple. Oh, I do hope it won't get worse. We did promise to watch Zachary's film together.
I know what you mean. I've been complaining to Isabel. It doesn't seem to affect her much, though. Must be because she grew up in the tropics. Anyway, shall we? She's probably hanging out with the rest of the catering staff.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised she's there. She eats like 10 hungry men when she isn't feeling well. Lead the way.
With small nods, she gestures for me to follow. I do so without much thought, finally putting everything in the back of my mind. Okay, what do we got? That piece of music sounds familiar. Oh, so basically, because there was nothing on November 1st. So basically, once we get all the details, this whole book will be completed. You can read it from top to bottom, like how it all happened. Because since the story bits don't go in the squitter fashion, the book is like made to see how the story unfolded. The entire visit took a whole 24 minutes, and my trip to the mansion, as it turns out, is a useless endeavor in itself. Isabel's no longer there, left shortly before I arrived, or at least that's what few staff who saw her assumed. None of them knew where she went, but I can take a few guesses. There are only a number of places in Luxembourg she frequents, and well, she's never been the complex kind. It doesn't really take a genius to figure it out. Still, it's odd she left her on her own. She could have at least waited for Miss Cooper. It would have saved her having to pay the cab's fare twice.
And right after she was told to stay put! I mean, who does that? Oh, sod off! You don't own the road!
Jesus. She looked so damn angry there. In the end, all Miss Cooper could give me were a string of apologies for my trouble, and a request to let her know when I found Isabella. The whole affair didn't last long, probably spent more time traveling back and forth. Soon enough, I'm weaving my way back downtown Luxembourg, worried sick, and on top of that, maybe a little annoyed. Whether the unexpected turn of events or Isabella herself, I'd rather not think about it right now. Now when I'm already running late for Zachary's film. Besides, I'm perfectly sure that's where I'll find her. And here we are. As one would expect, people are already gathered at the movie house when I get to it. A small avenue where it's located is closed off early from any passing traffic to make way for the avid moviegoers who are sure to crowd the venue. Oh, my throat is already starting to kill me. I have to park almost a street away and walk a remaining distance because of it. Looking for them has taken a while in the crowd this big, but I eventually spot them near the entrance. There's their beloved little trio. Zachary, Isabella, and Ashton. Thanks to Zachary mostly. Like I've surmised, Isabella's with them.
I knew it.
Wasting no time, march over their little group. Words filled with concern tumble out of my mouth before I can stop myself.
Isabella! Oh, thank goodness! Becca, you're just in time.
An odd expression crosses her face as I hold it with both hands, but I ignore it in favor of getting a good look at her, forcing her to keep still and fix her gaze at me.
Becca, you're squishing my face.
How are you? Are you alright?
Why wouldn't I be?
There doesn't seem to be any visible injury, nor does she appear to be in pain. Far from her confused frown by questions, she looks pretty much like how she would any other day. Even so, I can't really tell those things with her at first glance. Last time she got sick, she never bothered to call anyone, even me, who lives right next door. I hadn't checked on her then, she probably would have died in her bed with the rest of us none the wiser. It's one thing we laugh about now, but moments like those also teaches you something about a person. If anything, it has given me more reason to constantly worry about her. At the moment a familiar name comes up, I know my concerns right now aren't completely baseless.
Rose called me earlier.
Her expression swiftly changes, and gently as she can, Isabella pushes my hands away. Yet even before she says anything, I already have a hunch now. This whole thing will play out.
Oh, no, everything's good. Rose covered for me at work today.
That's not what I'm talking about. How's your head?
Then and there, the whole conversation goes down as I've imagined. Come on, Isabella, don't hide behind that. She dodges my hand even when I reach for the back of her head, intending to check the engine herself. Even makes a show of hiding behind Zachary just to avoid me. Instantly, what's supposed to be a simple inquiry dissolved into a shameless game of tag. Shouting and chasing like none of us can be bothered to act like the full-grown adults we're all supposed to be, including Ashton. I won't put it past Isabella, but Ash, out of everyone? And in fact, if that stupid smirk on his face tells me anything, he finds this whole mess amusing. Oh, for the love of...
Isabella, this isn't a laughing matter.
She did look pale when I saw her.
Wow, thanks a lot, Ashton, you traitor. I'll get you back for this, just you wait.
What? I'm just saying it as it is. If you mentioned this earlier, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now.
There's a moment's pause. My hand stills midair as my attention shifts to Ashton and the words he leaves hanging between the four of us. This doesn't meet my eye. I don't think he's even aware of what he said. The meaning of each syllable alone is clear, and they echo, they sting, they burn.
I'm sorry. Saw her?
Yeah, they arrived together. Bella looked fine to me then. I don't know.
Of course, of course! Why else would Isabella leave on her own after being told to stay put, after a little chat about money this morning? Something close to silence falls while I mull over their words, both what's already been said and what's left unspoken. When I do find my voice, it only reeks with nothing but bitter, unpleasant thoughts, though I quickly stamp out before they surface. Though I had the best I can in the deepest parts of my mind locking away for no one to see.
Oh, that's good. At least she didn't have to travel alone, right? At least. Good.
Yet try as I might, the green-eyed monster easily rears its ugly head, like it always does every time his gaze lingers a second longer. Every time he smiles in a manner far too gentle, far too sincere, whenever he thinks no one can see. Every time my mind suggests his words mean more than they should. Every small little thing, despite what he says, despite his tone.
Look, you guys.
For all I know, it may just be the same kind of fondness born from friendship. Maybe I'm simply overthinking like he often tells me. Maybe there really is something there. But in short display of impatience, I know the whole of it just for show. After all, growing up together with him didn't teach me nothing about him. For whose sake is it this time, though? For him? For Zachary? For her? Or for me? That I can tell.
If she says she's okay, then there's nothing we can do about it. It's not like we can stop her either. Besides, she's still acting like the same old Isabella to me, if she can still run around like that.
Why are you taking her side?
I'm not, but if she wants to watch Zach's movie with us, I'm not going to stop her. She's probably the one looking forward to it the most.
Ash, that's... You, of all people, should know...
Tell you what, if I notice something amiss with her, I'll take her to the nearest hospital myself. Is that good enough for you?
The mouth opens and snaps shut almost as quickly, forming a thin, hard line instead. Can't respond, not because there's nothing to say. On the contrary, there's plenty. So many things I can use to reason and get him to agree. But because he speaks with much certainty, with much reassurance, it feels like there isn't any choice. Oh, damn it. All I can give is a long, deep breath and a reluctant nod in the face of it. Before I can get a grip of myself and my own weakness, the mood immediately shifts. I'm being tackled into a hug.
Thanks, Becca!
It's always been you with him, isn't it?
Did you say something?
Me? Nothing. Don't mind me.
A lie, obviously. What else can it be? Each and every smile, tiny effort to keep things as they are, or so I tell myself. Little do I know, this is merely a preamble. It starts out quietly without fanfare, amidst the friendly jibes, the harmless teasing, a scrap of paper fluttering harmlessly to the ground. Oh my god, the moment they see the letter! Fuck! Are we gonna see Isabella's angry face again? Not again. One that looks suspiciously like a cheap Halloween prank no matter how you look at it. And yet despite how ludicrous it all is, Isabella stubbornly insists, as if her whole life depends on acknowledging the truth in her story. She even realized how absurd she sounds now. Crivens, even my students would fall for this.
Isabella, aren't you taking this a bit too far?
She doesn't give me time to regret nor think over my choices of words. And there it escalates, grows into an argument too petty even for our standards as adults. Before we know it, one after another, harsh, scathing words are being spoken.
It's not a joke! Will you guys listen to me first?
I swear to God, if she does that face
I saw
again.
something in the house earlier. It stood right in front of me. If I hadn't gotten away, that thing might have...
Right. And in broad daylight, Isabella. Even someone gullible would find the logic in that screwed up.
There's also no way in hell that this supernatural shit is true.
But it's real! What do you think I saw?
That looks so terrifying on her, Jesus. That's the scariest face, like, out of any normal characters. Like, god damn. I think mostly because, like, her irises, like, shrink down to black and she looks in a mixture of angry and sad, like, at the same time. I thought I would never see that face in the game again, but god damn it. Oh boy.
A hallucination? A delusion? Didn't you say you fell down some stairs? So maybe Rebecca's right.
It happened after, when I was trying to get away. I almost got stuck in the same room with that thing.
Oh boy, guys, you're gonna eat your words when that ghost comes for you next.
We're all in danger. I thought you were my friends. Why don't you believe me?
She looks so scary. But someone has to be patient in all this. And however much of my own has already been frayed earlier, there's no one else. Who else here can deal with someone selfishly acting like a kid? Like every other time, it has to be me.
We are, and you know that. But this thing and that thing has got nothing to do with the other. When Rose called earlier, I thought she's just exaggerating. But based on what I'm seeing right now, maybe it's better if we really postpone this for now.
Don't bother.
And she looks normal now. Just like that, she cuts us off, slams the door right in our faces while my own temper flares before I can stop it. Dole falters briefly at the hard expression on her. When she snatches the blasted paper from Ashton, I hold on to it. Regardless of how upset she appears, sour expression and bald fist, throwing a tantrum is simply unacceptable for a grown woman at that. Words form at the tip of my tongue ready. Before I can open my mouth and let all of it out, feelings and mistakes be damned, Zachary raises a voice of his own.
Guys!
A warning underneath the warm and hopeful beat in his voice. We all stop and look at him, even my own anger subsides a little at his tone.
Why don't we all calm down first? I'm sure Isabella has her reasons too. No need to be hard on her. And hey, ain't this supposed to be a happy get-together?
To an outsider, it may sound like a desperate request, but Zachary has always been the one to keep a level head over petty squabbles. This time's no different. He knows what to say, and when he lets it fall, the only ring sharp and true.
We haven't seen each other for months. I'd really love to know what y'all have been up to. I only ever get to talk to Bella over chat. Please.
And as careful as he is with his own tone, it does make me feel ashamed. We're supposed to be here for him, to give what little support we can give. And here he is, trying to keep three stubborn people from outright hashing it out in public. Later we can and will talk about it, of course. There's proper time and place for it, and at the moment my anger and whatever reprimands it carries no longer matter. Beside me, Ashton's have already caught on. Lines on his shoulders eased to something much more relaxed, his expression back to his usual nonchalance. Isabella, however, she stands perfectly still, her hands clasping the straps of the bag like a lifeline. Eyes trained to some point in her shoes. There's no anger in her face, only an undeniable hurt. She's never been good at hiding what she thinks. Always the open book, always the one to wear her heart out in the open. When she looks up, her answer is also simple.
If we keep arguing here, we're going to miss the first few minutes.
Her lips are curled up into a smile, though lacking both its usual brightness and glee. It's a smile nonetheless. I've seen countless times. It's the same one she would show when she knows she has no other choice. Simply when things get tough for her. Despite everything I already know about her, it still catches me off guard. In all honesty, I expect her to run, to walk at the first sign of losing this time. I won't ever be surprised. At 26, she is the youngest among the rest of us, less experienced, less accustomed to dealing with trivial quarrels like this. And here she is, holding herself and coping with it like how she would with matters concerning her family. Outside of that, to me, she has always been this childish, naive girl, and watching the opposite play out right now, Somehow I find it difficult to wrap my head around it.
All right, that's the Isabella I know.
Oh, good. I thought for sure you were going to cry.
But I envy her.
What was that for?
Stop calling me a crybaby! I'm not one!
Aw, don't cry.
Stop it!
I envy her spirit, her warmth, her cheer. The shine in her eyes when she looks at the world. How everything seems to simply fall back to a pleasant, lively rhythm with her around. How easily and tightly she fits into our lives, even without bonds only long years could forge. Like a lost piece of a puzzle despite her jagged edges. She draws people to her with ease. How Ashton of all people can be drawn to her.
Okay, scaredy cat then.
That too! If you repeat that, I swear I'll...
Let's just go.
Making no effort keeping the bitterness from my tone. L.A.zy lingers stiff in the air as I avert my gaze from them. In her playful banter, their friendly teasing remarks, and Ashton's tender, affectionate smiles. All before the stabbing aches in my heart changed to something too painful to bear. It's all in my head, is what I often tell myself. Yet the way my heart rents, as I just decided them hurts. I'm like a coward to walk away from all of it, taking with me a small hope the movie would distract me from all these thoughts. Because like this, it's easy to find something to hate in her. Dusk is already giving way tonight when we leave the film fest. Unfortunately, there's nothing to improve my mood like I am hoping. Neither does all the muggy air that greets us upon stepping back into the noisy streets. Too busy, too loud. Too many people taking what little space the sidewalk offers. Forces anyone to bump shoulders with those who barely know, let alone care about. On a normal evening, I probably wouldn't have minded the crowd nor the humid weather. It's not like any of them are bothering anyone. And yet, even with what's admittedly a pleasant company, I can't bring myself to lighten up.
So you got some other time?
Yeah, see ya!
Not even to return the smiles Ashton Zachary gives us when we go our separate ways. Perhaps this started with Miss Cooper's call on early in that, maybe even the moment I left bed this morning. Bloody hell, it could have been because of that sodding letter for all I know. Couldn't care less at this point. All wants to get a warm bath, sleep, and wait for this dreadful day to end. Now if only Isabel would stop babbling. And maybe this dull throbbing at the side of my head won't turn to a full-blown headache too. Becca, I know you're a fire star, but goddamn, don't be so rude about your friends.
Zach did a pretty good job with his movie, didn't he? Even though Ash said he ran into some trouble late into filming. But I knew he had it in him. It's not like I didn't believe he couldn't do it. I mean, did you see his face after the credits rolled? All those months he worked on this, and everything's finally...
You weren't even watching.
Only the first minutes. I watched the rest of it, I swear. Besides, Ashton was the one who wouldn't stop asking questions.
Well, why do we still need to talk about this then? I liked it. Ash liked it. You liked it.
Becca, come on. Don't be a sour puss. That's what I want to say.
Shouldn't you be telling that to Zachary in person? I'm sure he'll appreciate it better than I ever will.
Cut him.
I know that, but maybe there's something you want to say? Zach had you check the scripts before he went through everything, didn't he? You also worked on it, even if it was only for a short time. So, maybe you want to...
And don't bother waiting for the rest. The moment I spot my car, I immediately make a quick beeline for it. I only heard this is merely another attempt at starting conversation, just so we'll have something to fill the dead air. It's replaced the strained atmosphere we somehow walked into. One thing, the very thing I'm not too keen to deal with at present. I mean, Isabel also charges the pace to match mine, soft strides going brisk and uneven in order to catch up. A small part of me half expects she'll suddenly trip. She's not the clumsy sort, but there are definitely times when she can be the least ordinary person on the planet.
Becca, hey! Oh no! Wait for me!
People wonder why I worry. Not really completely unfounded once you've already grown familiar with their habits. But right now, this is also at the very end of the list of things I want to think about. Sometimes it does become overbearing. Even her voice as she calls after me sounds nothing more than background noise to my ears now.
Rebecca, slow down, will you? Your car's not going to leave without us.
The sooner we get on the road, the earlier we can get home. It's Friday, in case you didn't notice.
I know what day it is, but the traffic's not going to magically disappear, even if we go there right now.
I don't want to hear that from you. Didn't you used to complain how horrendous the traffic is back home for you?
Yeah? But that doesn't have anything to do with this, Becca.
Okay. What do you want to do then? Wait it out? Walk? I just want to go home, Isabella. If you want to stay out here longer, I won't stop you. But leave me out of it. I'm not up for any other foolish excursions tonight.
I wasn't thinking about an excursion. I want to go home too. It's already late. It's just that you've been in this prickly mood since earlier. Are you really okay? Was it the cold? Or did something happen at school? Do you want to talk about it?
Long pause follows and holds everything she's been meaning to ask from the very start. I'm in no mood, but all the same, my hand stops short of unlocking my car and my grip on the handle tightens. I feel her eyes boring on me, waiting, hoping patiently for any answers I'd give. She's seen it, Zachary. They're bad liars. When you will talk to people like them, if you're not careful, they often leave you no other choice but to admit the truth. Those exact same ones I can't voice. Despite my lack of response, she pushes on, surprisingly. This time her tone is quieter, more tentative than usual.
Was it because of the letter?
It's a well-meaning question, much like the rest of this talk. It's something in how she says it irks me.
If it is, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to cause a scene. I did see something in the mansion, though. I wasn't lying about that.
Yes, and 4 chapters of that have confirmed it already. Wherever she wants to take this, I no longer want to hear a word of it. Not this minute, preferably never. Especially when there are already a million other things buzzing and prodding inside my head.
And during the open house, even if there were a lot of people around, there were weird things happening.
What do we got? We got plus with Isabella. Nice.
I don't know if there was anyone else who noticed, but I heard things. I'm sure it wasn't because I fell down the stairs. Even before that, in the attic.
Isabella.
Yeah?
I pause though, I don't let it last, only to give myself a small window to breathe, where I lay down the words between us with as much restraint as my patience allows. She's not much after everything. I only hope Isabella will simply take them as they are. She can be stubborn as a mule when she wants to be.
This kind of conversation tonight. Look, it's been a long day. I think this cold also caught up with me, and I'm really exhausted. Can we talk about this some other time?
She blinks, and although disappointment flashes momentarily in her face, she gives me a curt nod. A relief enough for me, perhaps the first time I genuinely feel it today. As unpleasant as this day has been, seeing something go the way I've anticipated takes the edge out of it, even if lying through my teeth had to go with it.
Oh, alright. You should have just said so. I told you should have taken a full week off. Were you able to get the meds I brought you, though? Do you need anything? I could drop by the pharmacy for you.
Yeah, no need to fuss. A good night's sleep is all I need. I've been busy the whole day. I guess I should have listened to you and taken it easy. But we have exams to prepare for. It's one or the other, you know?
I knew it! Here I thought you were just upset about something. Even Ash looked a little bit worried about you.
It's fine. Let's just head home, okay? I'll make it up to you next time. Call me out to lunch or wherever, just... not right now.
Okay, but should you be driving? If you want, I can call a taxi for us. You'll hate paying the extra fees, but you'll be able to get some rest on the way home.
No, don't call a cab. I can manage driving at least. Just get in the car so we can be on our way.
I'm already opening the door and climbing into the seat before she can protest. If with no other choice, she follows inside shortly, albeit with a bit of reluctance. The guilt from this will eat at me later, but for now, these little falsehoods are mine to bear and hide under. For now, this is the better choice, better than pretending to just exist or giving her vague answers. Certainly better than harsh words and outright lashing out at her. I can find little comfort in that. Thankfully, if there's anything left to be spoken between this afternoon, we'll have to discuss it on the way home. Or rather, we can't. Because no sooner than we hit the road, Isabella dozes off. Despite my foul mood, I still end up suppressing a laughter once the first sound of her breathing filled the car.
Mama?
Not your mom, Isabella.
Slowly and steady, quiet rhythm so completely unlike her, so far removed from every impression anyone has of her. A few faint whimpers will occasionally come from her, but otherwise it's just us, the silence, and it's so utterly unexpected. Still a welcome break, of course. Peace and quiet is one thing you'll rarely get with her around. Yet it's nowhere near comforting. It merely lends the air strange clarity. Every little sound, every single movement more palpable, and with it comes unease. Jolt surprises it, it's almost comical if this were a different situation. In my haste, I accidentally dislodged my mobile from the seat on the dashboard while I swipe on the screen. Soon I'm scrambling blindly for it with my other hand while keeping a steady eye on the road ahead. Voice crackled from the loudspeakers before I can put it back. Muffled heavily by the surface, I recognized the person on the other line, chipper tone alone.
Hello?
Miss Cooper?
Oh, you're still awake. Evening. I hope I didn't disturb you or anything. I know it's a bit late. Sorry about that. I just want to check on you and Isabella. That girl's still not answering her mobile. Were you able to meet up with her?
Yes. She's with me. We're on our way home.
Hello? What was that again? I can't hear you properly.
Sorry. Let me just fix this dumb phone.
That muttering again? My hand stops dead for a moment. I spare the device a brief glance waiting. Seconds pass. Nothing happens though. Frankly, I'm not sure what I'm expecting, but the lines in my mouth forms into a frown regardless.
Miss Cooper?
Yes, still here.
Did you say something?
Just that I didn't get the last part. What were you saying again?
Jesus, the connection is bad.
No, I thought you... Never mind. Must be the signal acting up. Come again?
What?
Is everything all right over there?
Certainly. Is something wrong? What wouldn't? Okay, you seem to be busy. If this is a good time, I can just call you back some...
Oh boy. I have to make a conscious effort not to panic right then and there, though my tight hold on the steering wheel tells a different story altogether.
Miss Cooper! Rose? Hey, Rose! Are you still there?
Only a burst of static answers me. Maybe this lapse is entirely because of exhaustion. It has been a long day and I haven't fully recovered from last week's bout of flu, contrary to what I've been telling people. But perhaps had I paid closer attention to it and had not been so occupied with other thoughts, I probably would have noticed earlier that it never came from my phone. It was somewhere right behind me. Oh boy. Already she's behind us. Time slows to a crawl. Looking up is a mistake. The first thing I see is its face. Ghastly shade, every inch battered, bruised, and bloody. Even in the darkness and the world passing by in a blur of lights outside, still make out the moons. Blood still oozes from it. Little trails of crimson running down its face, glistening under what little light there is. But it is the gleam in her eyes that catches mine. Quite plaguey the anguish and desperation in them, more than its hideous features and the awful stench of gore now soaking the air. Try as I might, can't break myself to look away. Even as its lips contort to a horrific smile. Even as sharp, harsh noises pierces the air and the silence around us.
Rebecca! Huh? Car! Eyes on the road!
Jesus! Against everything I've taught, I've constantly reminded myself I close my eyes. It's a brief moment, short of a good second of muscle memory instinct completely taking over. And if I didn't allow it, if my hands didn't move or my feet didn't hit the brakes in the exact second, I might have. No. I shake the notion away before I lose myself in it. Right now it's an ugly line of thought I refuse to venture into. Now I'm breathing is a struggle and every ounce of strength has been totally drained from my body. And it's definitely not while Isabella's kind voice beside me still rings in my ears. We're alive. We're safe. That's all that matters. It's not her face that I look for when I finally open my eyes. All gone. I expected stains, little telling marks, and creases on the covers to show where it sat not a second ago. Whatever it is, it left not a single trace. Though courage is hard, it's a hard thing to gather at this point. It takes what little of it remains in me and turns towards the back seat. Even then, there's none. Or was there really something in there in the first place? How empty it is, I'm beginning to doubt it. Stupid flu again.
I need a long rest after this.
My hands fall uselessly to my sides, not from how taut my grip on the wheel is gone, but still trembling from the unexpected rush of adrenaline. Against my ears, my heart still pounds in erratic rhythm, and my breathing hasn't slowed down. But the world has already righted itself without waiting for me. Little by little, second after second, as I sit here motionless, color begins to seep back around. Along with it are the sounds of the voice, no longer the indistinct ringing it was earlier.
Rebecca! Becca! Are you okay? Answer me, will you? You're scaring me! You know what? I think we should just call a taxi since...
Can you keep it down?
Strained, harsh, and completely unintentional, with heart prickling at the back of my eyes, with heat prickling at the back of my eyes, mild throbbing in my temple, and all has to do with a little silence for now.
Keep it down? We almost crashed, Becca!
You're doing that face again! Please don't do that face again!
I know what happened. It was a lapse. I'm sorry.
A lapse? You call that a lapse? Becca, I really don't want to end up a mangled mess on the side of the road, or a mangled mess anywhere. All I'm asking, if the time ever comes, which I hope isn't right now, is a peaceful death. Give that one to me at least. Not that I'm asking for it, but please.
Isabella. Belle, you're overreacting. If you're so worried, why don't you drive?
Don't have a license.
I keep telling you to get one, didn't I? For the past 5 years. Do you see why now?
I wasn't really expecting to stay here this long. I thought it'd just be for a year or two.
All of a sudden, a pensive mood comes over her. Isabella looks away then, while what's left of my little lecture never crosses the tip of my tongue. I don't allow it to. Because in each of those words she let loose earlier is a small truth. Stay has always been meant to be something fleeting. Need some good money, go home. It's what she'd tell herself during the first year here. Now, half a decade later, I'm not sure she still believes that. Even I'm not sure if I still believe it. And there's something in her reasons that has changed along the way, even if I already have a hunch. It's one thing I'll never bother to ask. Those are hers to keep.
I'll be careful this time, I promise. Just please. Can we give this whole thing a rest for now?
She nods, and that's the end of it. Spend the rest of the trip back to Salem in silence. Story is updated. All thoughts of an overreactive imagination playing tricks on a fluid mind and of smiles never met in my eyes, abandoned, if only for a brief moment. October 25th, Tuesday. And you know what? I'm actually gonna save it here. Okay, so Rebecca is up next for the ghostly hauntings of whoever the hell the ghost is. And we actually don't know what's gonna happen to Marianne. Because considering that I left off on a note that she's been locked up in some dingy dungeon, or maybe everything's going to be solved in Luke's chapter, I have absolutely next to no ideas. But Rebecca is closely getting the idea that there is something that wants her dead in the ground, so to speak. So, without further ado, that's this video. Thank you all who watched. And hopefully, I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.